Oh my god, dude. So fucking dead.
Jesus.
So
Wait, is that a
fucking
real
dead.
picture?
What?
Is that actually happened?
Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how like just
Oh my god.
dark we've become.
Oh, oh my. Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip. What? Is that actually happened?
Of course it happened. I think this is a...
Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip. Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip. Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip.
You have not seen what I have seen.
Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip.
The skies are strange.
Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip.
Weeks before he worked up the courage to court me proper.
2 weeks at most.
It was 5.
You're lying. She's lying.
Skip.
Yep, it.
Skip. What? Is that actually happened?
Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how...
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Recording. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Many of you had the day off yesterday. I worked because I'm a lunatic, and I'm glad to be back to work today. It's a privilege to spend a little bit of time with you each day, and I hope that you left a like on the video and that you click that red subscribe button down below. Now, everybody is getting in on their criticisms of Lord of the Rings of Power by Amazon, and we've seen everything from Amazon turning off reviews to accusations that if you don't like the show, then you don't like people based on the color of their skin. We've seen the media go after beloved characters like Legolas to try and justify the way that Galadriel is now some super soldier and single-handedly taking down trolls. We've seen almost everything, except yesterday afternoon, it appears that Elon Musk decided to watch Lord of the Rings of Power, and he had some spicy things to say. That after a quick word from this video sponsor. If you're anything like me, you love ramen, you love its convenience, quickness, and deliciousness. However, it's hard to find high quality ramen. Well, now I've got some for you. This from Imi, low carb, just 6 grams of net carbs in each package, high protein, it's 100% plant-based, lower in sodium than your traditional ramens, super convenient, it's super easy to prepare in the microwave or stovetop. You can have your bowl ready in just 7 minutes. And they use super high quality ingredients for the noodles and soup base with no unnatural preservatives. So click the link below and use code THEQUARTERING at checkout or go to immyeats.com/thequartering for $5 off your order. That's immyeats.com/thequartering, or just click the link below and use code THEQUARTERING for $5 off a variety pack. I'm having some black garlic chicken for lunch today. Tomorrow, perhaps I'll have some tom yum shrimp. Token is turning in his grave. 262,000 likes, followed by almost every male character so far is a coward, a jerk, or both. Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. Oh, and 90% of my comments are bots. It's absolute, and then after, predictably, Twitter has a meltdown about it. He then replies, "Those who claim any criticism of Rings of Power means you're somehow racist or are actually outing themselves as also being racist." It's pretty interesting to me. And obviously, like, as I've been saying, great minds, diversity casting has killed fantasy. Just grateful that we once used to have actual art. Quentin Nelson, I don't care what he's doing after he wrote the abomination that was the final Game of Thrones season. I assume that's a meme. I assume that's a meme. Just because a Tolkien estate signed off on the show after Christopher's Tolkien's son passed doesn't mean that it's in J.R.R. Tolkien's vision. The issue with Ring of Power is that it butchers the already established law, such as Galadriel being a warrior when she never was. It's good your feud with Bezos doesn't need to extend to TV. Now, of course, you see a lot of people having melties about this. Elon exuding whiffy incel vibes with his take on Rings of Power. The dude has a baker's dozen kids. I'm not exactly sure that he's an incel. Then you get Neil Gaiman, who is behind the Sandman, I believe, remake now, getting really booty blasted, saying Elon Musk doesn't come to me for advice on how to fail to buy Twitter. And I don't go to him for film, TV, or literature criticism. Ooh, sick burn. I'm not sure you could say that he failed to buy Twitter. I think it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty disingenuous way to put it. You could say he backed out. You could say he lost his, he lost his gusto, or that things financially changed, or that because really the deal is not done yet. But Twitter loves to hate Elon, so that tweet got a lot of traction. Then, of course, we have a She-Hulk stan account saying, today they would have called this woke. And it's a famous scene from the original, I Am No Man, with getting 13,000 likes. Except, no, they wouldn't, because it's established lore. And you can see, I implore you to talk to those you disagree with. The genius of this moment was that her existence was a loophole in the prophecy. Not a man. Erwin had character development. She had help from Mary 4. She's not perfect, and she was severely injured, not even slightly woke. You can all see here. No, they wouldn't. Tolkien fans would have been fine with this because this is pretty much exactly how the scene played out in the book. Specifically, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Book 5, Chapter 6, The Battle of Pelennor Fields. It's source material accurate. And they actually post a picture of it. It's like it's like the left, or the far left, I guess. Most people in here accept it was in the book. Everyone knows it was in the book. I don't understand it. I think it's pretty hilarious to me that people are so desperate to defend Amazon. The same people, by the way, the same people standing for Amazon's Lord of the Rings are also the same people who are whining about worker treatment at Amazon. They're the same people that also worship at the altar of big pharma and corporations to validate whatever it is, whatever social issue that they want. Painful to watch. Viewers hate Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, which critics insist is yet another example of racism. There's been a lot of hype leading up to Amazon's Lord of the Rings adaptation, The Rings of Power, but now fans are saying it's a huge flop. Well, I don't think you could say it's a flop. I mean, at least according to Amazon, 25 million people watched it. Although Samba TV is showing some other weird numbers. The series premiered the first 2 episodes Thursday and currently has an 84% critic rating, 36% audience rating. I'm pretty sure, it's up to 39. There you go. This certainly isn't the first time the critics and viewers disagreed. Oh, and by the way, that's not exactly on a few reviews. Well, they used to show how many reviews. Now they're not showing how many reviews there are. They're always tweaking something, aren't they? They used to show how many user reviews this actually was. Now I don't think I can see it. Well, at least unlike IMDb, they are showing the negative reviews. And of course, some reviewers are accusing fans of not liking the color of people's skins for 1-star reviews. A writer for The Hollywood Reporter likened these reviewers to miserable little trolls who were review brigading the series simply because the cast and directors chose to add black actors into it, which of course was ridiculous and not true. However, the reviews tell a different story. Many of the people panning Rings of Power say it's a visual masterpiece with impressive score, but the dialogue is clunky and difficult to connect with the characters, and they aren't angry about diversity initiatives. They just think that it's an unworthy adaptation. In fact, most people that I see, the black female or dwarf Disa, people actually like this character. It's not like, it's not one of those weird things where like, oh, you could even connect hate for the character with the color of his skin, because Disa's one of a few bright spots. Complete disaster of a show, boring and horrible characters, especially Galadriel, poorly written dialogues, and it's just the first 2 episodes of the show. Above all else, no respect for Tolkien and his work, one person shared. And the first episode was painful to watch. Not even the gorgeous CG backgrounds could save this mess. The dialogue was baffling. It sounded like they had AI write it. The acting was uninspired, and the protagonist was unsympathetic and unlikable. Another agreed. While the visuals do not disappoint, not once do they manage to make me care about any of the characters another person cared. Now, this is an uphill battle that's going to take more than 1 episode or more than 2 episodes to establish. Because while there are people who are like super familiar with this section of the lore, it's far fewer than the people who just know like Frodo and Samwise and Gandalf and Sauron and Aragorn, and Legolas, and like Boromir. The characters that most people knew, they were already kind of connected to them. But like with this, you have to rework it. You have to like reestablish all the trust. Rings of Power had a lot to prove. First, it's the most expensive TV show ever made, costing a jaw-dropping $217 million to produce the first season. That's 7 times as much as Game of Thrones cost per season, which is currently airing a spin-off prequel, House of Dragon, in direct competition with LOTR. Amazon spent $250 million acquiring the rights to Tolkien's intellectual property in the first place. It's worth mentioning that House of Dragon also added a black main character to the cast and managed to maintain 85% critic rating and 84% audience rating. This is exactly right. It proves that that's not the case. Or I guess they're going to come and say, oh, well, it's just Tolkien fans that are racist, apparently. Elon Musk condemns new Lord of the Rings series. He's turning in his grave. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of the decisions, you have Neil Gaiman slaps back at Elon Musk for criticizing Lord of the Rings. I mean, isn't it just Elon's opinion? I don't know. Like, I don't really think that's a big deal aware. Tolkien is turning in his grave. Elon shares his review of Amazon's Rings of Power. I think that it's pretty hilarious how bad the cope is. And when Elon piles on, things are going to get even more interesting. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on it. Subscribe at the red button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.